Hello, Mr. Francis Ford Coppola, Mario Székely from the Película. We are very happy to have you here on the show to talk about The Godfather, Coda, the death of Michael Corleone. So please tell me about the genesis of this project. How come the idea to make The Godfather Part 3?
What happened was that many things, I made a lot of films. I ended up getting myself in a lot of trouble. I made a lot of money. I lost a lot of money. I went into bankruptcy. I got out of bankruptcy. I went in the wine business. I did all these things. And then, 16 years later, they said, okay, we want you to make The Godfather Part 3. And I said, well, do you really want to make The Godfather Part 3? And they said, well, not only that, we want to make the whole series of it. We're going to make The Godfather Part 3, The Godfather Part 4, The Godfather Part 5, The Godfather Part 6. I said, well, there isn't enough Godfather there. Basically, it's not an adventure story. It's a tragedy. It's a human tragedy, it's a moral tragedy. I said, you can't, even to make a third, but I think we could make a third film if we sort of made it a coda. They said, what's a coda? I said, in music, when you have two acts, Act 1 and Act 2, you could have in an opera, you could have a coda, which is a conclusion, a wrapping up, a summing up, an epilogue. I said, I could see it as a coda.
So now tell me about the drama of this movie, because a lot of characters are coming back from Part 2 and Part 1. Those movies were made in the 70s. So now I would like to hear your opinion about how you create this drama.
Mario, and I said, Mario, why don't we use this as our story? What if Michael finally, at this age, wants to make his family clean for his children? Because he's got this boy and this girl. He's lost his wife. His wife is remarried. He wants to take this huge amount of money, and by donating it to the Vatican, he wants to take control of Society Mobiliare, which is exactly what became Paramount Pictures. And it began recently when I always would hear, The Godfather 1, The Godfather 2, they're classics, they're among the best films, and blah, blah, blah. But always The Godfather Part 3 is like the poor sister, and always with the wound it had for me was that the critics had gone after Sophia, saying she ruined her father's movie. How can you tell a 17-year-old girl that she ruined her father's movie? That was not meant for her. That was meant for me.
So, Mr. Coppola, everybody loves to repeat Godfather's lines when they are in their regular life, when they have a wedding, when they have a boss that is not so nice, when they want to talk about family and keeping close to the chance to be with them. So tell me about what's your feeling when you hear these lines, the Godfather's lines in the street? What's your feeling?
Well, those are wonderful lines, but they came from Mario's mother. Of course, it's very gratifying to have a movie be accepted by so many people. I think The Godfather is a beautiful movie. It's really a movie about a family made by the film. I got to see my sister. She's beautiful in the third film, I think, my sister. It's important to me that people understand that Sophia was very touching as a young girl in the picture.
We see your movies like a religious experience. We love to be in a big theater watching your film. In your opinion, what's the future of the movies? I want to stay more home watching streaming, or are we going to go out after, the pandemic and all of that? Do you think they're coming back to the big theaters?
I think that we will see a rebirth of the movie palace. I think it will be more like a wonderful experience, like when I went with George Lucas and we went to a beautiful theater and we saw Lawrence of Arabia. It was an experience I'll never forget. Or we went to see 2001. It will be more this type of exalted experience in beautiful movie palace of the future. There's nothing like experiencing a movie with an audience.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coppola. We are very excited to have you here in the película for the whole Latin America people. They love you and they love your films. So I would like to ask you just one thing. Will you please invite this wonderful audience to see your film?
Hola, yo soy Francis Coppola. And hola, mi amigos de película. Come to see my film, The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone. It will make you cry.
Oh, wow. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. And of course, I'll see you in the big screen with this wonderful series of films. Gracias.